Please note that if you purchase something by clicking on a link within this story, we may receive a small commission of the sale. At Deception, Sasha thinks it's insane that she has to look less wholesome. And while she's willing to change her look, she's not changing it to something edgy or mysterious. Lucy vents that Belpo was a huge deal, but Maxie says there are other magazines out there. Lucy says Belpo is the crown jewel of magazines, and they need Sasha on the cover of this magazine along with all the others. Sasha is used to people judging her looks as a model, but after this past year, she's realized there are more important things than getting paid for being looked at. Maxie suggests they postpone this discussion until a future time. Sasha agrees, but Lucy says no, and they will settle this now. Lucy says they can't hug this out, and if they stand a chance at salvaging their reputation and her company, this needs to be dealt with. Brooklyn says, "Excuse me, your company." Brooklyn reminds Lucy that the majority of this company belongs to Tracy, so any talk about changing the face of Deception has to go through her grandmother. Maxie says this is why she said they wouldn't get anything productive done and they should take a break. Lucy yells that this company was her idea, and it is more her company than anyone else's. If there is a problem, she'll fix it, and if Brooklyn doesn't like it, then there is the door. Lucy tells Sasha she knows she's given her blood, sweat, and tears for this company. Sasha knows she has, and she cares about the company too, but she thinks she's over all of this. She resigns as the face of Deception. Maxie and Brooklyn ask her to rethink this as Deception needs her. Sasha thanks them but says it's time. Lucy thinks she just needs a vacation, and a second face of Deception will give her time to breathe. Brooklyn tells Lucy that isn't why she suggested a second face, and they all know it. And no matter how many new faces she hires, she'll run them off too. Brooklyn storms out. Lucy asks Sasha if that is true. Is she leaving because of her? Sasha says she's not, and she never wanted to be a model. She says Michael made that deal for her to get a stake in the company, and she's not the same person she was back then. She doesn't know what she wants to do with her life, but she knows she doesn't want to be told what to do in front of a bunch of cameras. Lucy points out that if she resigns, then per their contract, she has to give up her shares and leadership position with the company. Maxie thinks Lucy has done enough already, but Lucy says she is just being honest. Lucy says she'll have to sell back her shares at market price, and the shares are way down, and she'll walk away with not much at all versus if she waits. Sasha says Glady's cleaned her out, so whatever she gets is more than she has now, and you can't put a price on happiness. Sasha leaves, and Maxie asks Lucy what in the hell is wrong with her. Lucy says they still have an ace in the hole with Blaze, and Tracy can't say no to her now. Maxie says Blaze may not be interested, but if she was, who is her manager again? Brooklyn. Lucy is sure Blaze will be interested in them, and she will fix this. Maxie tells Lucy she is not a partner. Instead, she is a one-woman wrecking ball who does anything she wants. Maxie asks if she knows what it's cost her to stick with her, and she can't even look at her right now. She tells Lucy to get out of her office. Lucy bows her head and leaves. At the station, Chase speaks to Donna's class about police work. Brooklyn arrives as Dante swears in all the kids as official friends of the Port Charles Police Department and makes them honorary deputies. The teacher takes the kids off, and Brooklyn tells Chase he was so adorable just then and exactly what she needed. Chase thought she was at Deception today. Brooklyn explains took a break, thanks to Lucy causing another disaster. He says few people get to her like Lucy, and he wonders if it was the right thing to go back to Deception. She is beginning to question her decision and even doubt her plan to give Maxie Deception, as it's making everything worse. Chase says Maxie is lucky to have her as a friend, but Brooklyn fears there may not be a company to hand over to Maxie if Lucy keeps things up. Chase is certain she can handle Lucy Co. At the Quartermain stables, Cody talks to the horse about his decision to quit Deception. He vents about how stupid modeling is, but he didn't think about how his quitting would affect Sasha and Maxie. Olivia shows up to let Cody know that she just came from the hospital, and Dante is the same. And she couldn't relax, so she cooked him some food. She also says it's peaceful down here, and she could use that right now. Cody tells Olivia that her cooking smells great, and she says it was relaxing to finally do something for someone. He invites her to join him for some food, and she accepts his invitation. Olivia quickly second-guesses herself and thinks she should be at Dante's side. Cody tells her she can't do it all, and she has been a superhero through this, and Dante will pull through. Cody reminisces about camp days with Dante and how good he was at racking up badges. He gets Olivia to relax a bit and laugh before she decides to get back to the hospital. She thanks him for cheering her up, and he thanks her for lunch. Sasha shows up later to tell Cody that she walked from deception too. He hopes he didn't push her into this. Sasha says she did this for her, and she needed a change. Cody asks if she'll be okay financially. Sasha says she's paid up on her bills, and she'll think of something. She asks Cody if he always knew what he wanted to do with his life. Cody says he didn't, but he knows he was never cut out for a suit and tie job. She asks if he ever worried about his next job. He says there was anxiety, but freedom in that he got to pick up and go anywhere. However, that life isn't for him anymore, and he likes working here and having friends. He says he can have new dreams now thanks to the money he made modeling. Sasha is sure there is a new career out there for her, and she's excited about finding it. At the boathouse, Michael checks on Jason. He's feeling better, and Michael notices he's moving around better. Jason senses something is wrong with Michael. Michael informs Jason that he needs to leave. Michael explains the predicament Willow got into with taking drugs for him, and Liz would have been the one to answer for it. He says Spinelli hacked into the system to fix it, and Jason knows he likely knows who the meds were for. Jason doesn't like how many people are being pulled into this. Michael agrees, and it's not fair to Willow or their kids. Jason agrees he has to go. Michael says he found a way to help him disappear. He offers him the ELQ jet to the Grand Keys, but Jason won't let him do it as it will all be traced back to Michael. He also says someone has leverage over him, so if he runs it will have consequences. Michael asks what he's going to do. Jason responds, "The only thing I can." Diane meets with Robert at the cafe and tells him that she's looking into getting Alexis' disbarment overturned. She also wants to find out who was on the committee making the decision and why it was sped through so fast. She informs him that she offered Alexis a job at her firm, and when her license is reinstated, he'll be facing both of them in court. Robert says when he wins, he'll take them out to dinner. She laughs but says she has called in every favor she can to find out why Alexis was really disbarred. They are interrupted when Michael calls Diane. She steps aside to speak to him, only to find out it's Jason. She was expecting his call and asked what he needed. Back at the PCPD, Diane arrives with a client who is surrendering voluntarily. Jason enters, and Chase reads Jason his rights. Diane needs to talk to her client, but Chase says he needs to be booked first. Diane spouts legal precedents to get a moment with him before booking, so he leads them to the interrogation room. Chase fumes to Brooklyn that Dante is unconscious still and Jason is the picture of health. He wanted so badly to strangle him. Brooklyn calms him down and says maybe now they will get answers. Diane hopes Jason knows what he's doing, as he's looking at several serious charges. She also says it's good to see him again, though not under these circumstances. She asks him if he's going to tell her what this is about. Jason says, "I can tell you this much, I won't be here very long." At the boathouse, Michael texts Willow to let her know the boathouse is empty. Oh, and they're out of groceries. On the next General Hospital, Trenette asks Stella if there is a way out, as she can't see it. Liz tells Willow she wishes she knew anything about Jason. Joss asks someone, "Where have you been?" Kate yells, "What are you doing here?" Chase tells Brooklyn that he'll get answers for Don's sake. Michael delivers news about Jason. In Jailhouse Blues, Jason insists he doesn't need his lawyer.